All right, this is gonna be a little bit different. Let me maybe turn this down just a bit. So I got a new headset yesterday, so I'm gonna have to mess with that and make sure it's not too bad or too loud. And right now I can only check. Well, hopefully that. I mean, obviously you can on that and you can turn it down. Yeah, that should be good. Hopefully, the higher sounds tend to get in the yellow. Well, on the plus side, the mic seems to be a lot better as far as catching things. But we'll see how it works. It's a wireless headset, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but oddly enough, there's finding a decently, not cheap, but middle, I guess you could say, priced headset with a cord is actually surprisingly difficult. But anyways, if I have to, on the plus side, I have to replace them, it's not too bad, just annoying. So, okay, so here we are. So I've titled this to save the Xenon because the Xenon on my map are in danger of going extinct. Let's see, I think it's this one. Oh, excuse me. In fact, I think it's these ones, and then there's another one back here, but even though they're still in control, they're basically flooded full of, this one's flooded full of Talati, and this one's flooded full of Split. You know, it's just, and maybe this one too. Yeah, I think that one too. It's like, in name, they're still controlled by the Xenon, but in reality, they're not. So you kind of got like down here and these ones. And yeah, and I think these ones are good too still. So that's all the Xenon have. And it looks like this is the only one that's really going to put up any sort of fight right now. So the Xenon on my campaign are in danger of going extinct without any sort of real action by me against them, because I haven't really killed anything beyond, a heavy fighter. I guess I did help kill that one. I guess that would have been a medium-sized ship. But I'm hoping enough chaos gets sown between them that weakens them enough to, because I like the Xenon as a antagonist. Like, I like the fact that they can pop out and just show up and start wrecking crap. But they got this one pretty locked down pretty good. And they got this one. But luckily there's Xenon still coming out of these two ones, so this area here is still pretty strong. I got the Antigone, or Antigone, however you want to call them. I like to call them Antigons because they're against being gone. But I've diplomacied them into fighting. There you go. So now they're hostile. I've actually got the hot back to being an enemy because this one messed up, and it doesn't show it though, but this one failed. And yeah, and which is kind of I don't know how I feel about that. Like, you focus on escalating, you fail it, and it does the exact opposite. I'm not sure that's, like, I think it should do something else besides just turn them into friends. like even if you have to work twice as hard to get them to escalate again, I don't think it should turn them into friends. Well, not friends, but they've gone. When this happened, they went from enemies to neutral. Well, maybe, I don't know. But then I did this one and got it back to got them back to being enemies. So they're fighting on the military front, and then these guys are now all out war with the Republic. This one I'm just going to ignore and see what happens. These last two came up from the null protocol. So protocol null, protocol null. Jeez, caffeine hasn't hit my brain yet. But I was wondering what this does, and basically, it's not like a random behind the scenes everything. It randomly brings out this action for free, mind you, which is the big thing, because getting the space caviar is kind of a pain in the butt. I know at one point they were, space fly eggs everywhere, and you couldn't get rid of them fast enough. But that was a while ago, and I've had actual issues finding that much to make these days. I am sure there's a way to do it, but like I never tried before, and I ended up with a bunch of them, and now I'm kind of trying without looking up how the best way to do it is, and I've gotten like two things of spacefly caviar from all that work over 40-50 hours. So that's what's kind of cool about this one is you set it and it'll bring up random, because this initiates these events. You can pick it through this one, but this one is just random. So I didn't pick these two. I didn't pick to choose that event, and I didn't pick to choose this event, but this event worked for me, so I chose that, which it does cost this resources to send your agent. This one I don't care about, so I'm not gonna do it. So I'm gonna see what happens. Does it just fail? Does it keep them neutral, or does it randomly choose one of these without your agent interfering? So that's what we're going to find out in an hour and 14 minutes. I don't know if this happened yesterday before or after, but the Holy Order now is my friend. It's funny because they're one of the main ones I was gunning for to get rid of first, but I like when you hit Ally 27 with them, with any of these factions, you can use different default skins for your ships, and them and the Court of Curbs are the ones that I like the most. And so I'm thinking maybe I need to somehow rush relations with them. Although maybe I could start. Maybe. Well, anyways. The other thing I did is I bought a bunch of, because I need to make all those Ares, so I bought a bunch of theirs blueprints, but I forgot that it does this. So even if your shipyard is Terran like mine is, it still kind of sets up for the blueprints. So once I get the shield components, it'll start, well, either A, some other factions will start buying from it, which is fine. I like that. Or they won't, and then I'll just use it to build some more Ares and stuff for that, what do you call it? For the quest. So, in fact, I think I need to do that manually because they're too far. What is shield components? Yeah. So I gotta find out where some shield components are. Well, let's do this. It's too early for me to be flying, so. Electronics. Argon. Anything happening? It seems like the fighting in this system went down a lot. Of course, while they were fighting, I think Hop had made more headway than Argon did, because although I need to recheck those, I don't know if they changed hands, but because what they've done, or here they are, these used to be Xenon. Not this one, but these ones and these ones. So while they were fighting up there, they came in, took over this. Now they got a kind of a back door into, like if Hop wanted to like go on full on invasion, they can go that way, or they can come out this way and attack. Although I don't know if the story mission that he did that caused conflict over here has done much yet, because I know at different points they'll do different things. And damn it, here, let's check. Yeah, so they're in a soft war with all these. Like when they're enemies, there it is. They won't trade, but they'll militarily kind of attack each other. But they'll ignore trade ships going through. This is like the perfect perfect war scenario, because you don't have to worry about your civilian ships. Now this one will just destroy everything on site. Okay, so I need to find... There's turrets. But it wasn't turrets, right? Yeah, the turrets were the last two things that I needed. Yeah, I got those last night, so I need to find a place to pick up shield components, because they're not... all the rest of these, they just... Traders came and sold. It was just that easy. Like I didn't even... Just barely turned my head in most of them, but the last two, the turrets and the shields, they weren't getting filled. So I filled the turrets last night, but the only other shields that I saw were out here. So I gotta, I know there's more, I just gotta uncover them. I mean, I suppose I may eventually build more. Like I could build a bunch of argon flavored stuff up here. Or I could go really risky and try and build some in here. Because the Terrans seem to be holding the gate down pretty good, so... there's my looter. What about you fish people? Maybe I will build a shield component module on my Grand Exchange Station. Okay, well, there could be one hiding in that last spot there, but I'm not. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I wish Explore worked better. Explore is so slow. That's why no one uses it. Should probably uncover some of these ones here. Although with the amount of money I have, I could just start dropping some, what do you call it? Surveillance stations in each sector. Like this one that I did up here. Where is it? Although I did add some storage, and then I had it buy these as cheap as they can. This was actually supposed to be no, I did not quite as cheap as they can, just very low, and then had them sell it. It has actually made a little bit of money, not a lot, but it was never supposed to be a moneymaker anyways. It was just supposed to be a surveillance station, but then I just decided, you know, I could buy cheap and sell high through there for a little bit, and it's worked. I could probably put more wares there. Probably not so much in Terran space, but if I do that over here, it'd probably do pretty good. What size was this again? Whatever size that'll work, because I can take it all the way to the top. But oh, it's a 2x2. Oh, and the other thing is, if anyone saw yesterday, it's a lot smoother, and that's all it takes is a restart of the game. So it's definitely the game. There's some sort of leak. Like I can only assume it's some sort of video memory leak, because it corrects itself once you restart it. Yeah, stop it. I didn't get new headphones so you could just chew on them. Yeah, quit screaming, please. Yes, I can do this. Let's turn off the turrets. So shield components are in kind of demand, but they're not. Well, they are there. So I'm guessing I'm gonna have to steal the shield component thing and start making some. I mean, I could attach a shipyard to. Unless I get Terran processing up somewhere over here. I'm not ready to expand like that, because this takes a lot of dudes, and even then, all those guys. Oh, it's constructing ships. Oh, nice, a big batch. Although I do have this on buy now too. Cheapest pricing, and they're still selling. Works for me, right? $34. Okay, weapons, component, equipments. All right, so where else? The void, that one's all pretty much done. Activa's faith. What? Plasma conductors and quantum tubes. There's plasma conductors. Probably none in here. Shield components. Okay, so let's get let's see. You're selling. Oh, I got this written down. I need 370 of them to fill that. So after that, they'll go. It's kind of a distance, but luckily it's along the highway, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue. But that's a far away. That's a far away. And then it should do it automatically because that's what it wants, but I'm just going to make sure. Funnily enough, this is working pretty well for selling energy too. It uses energy, but it doesn't use enough. So I'm bringing it down from here. Yeah. Oh, wait, here, there we go. I was about to say there's no buy, but oh, I was clicking on the wrong one. There's always people buying my energy. Like I said, that's kind of a lie there, because all these expenses are just transfers to me, so like I got to think about. I was thinking about putting a production station up here, and then just having them mined out here. But then I thought, well, what am I putting out there anyways? And Getsafuni is pretty decent. The Void is really good, but you got to deal with Well, both the ones you got to deal with the Xenon, but you also got to deal with the hazardous area. It's not bad for metals. This is hydrogen. Ew. Now I know there's a way, because there's like a refill rate too. But it doesn't really show it anywhere. Oh well. Grand Exchange is probably still just kind of like the best overall, because you know, I got hydrogen a jump away, helium, everything is a jump away. Everything you need is right here. And if you want some really want some hydrogen, it's right there. Although I imagine building here might be a little bit better just because you get the better sunlight. Slightly better sunlight. Of course, you get really good sunlight here, but then you got to deal with the stupid sun exploding every hour. I think I'm going to do sometime later a no station challenge. So what I'll do, it'll be kind of you could kind of say it's a cheating start, but when you think about it, not really. I'll probably start with just an Asgard, like start big, but I can't own, aside from the player HQ, and maybe when you're doing building missions for other factions, you can still build the station, but you can't own it. Aside from the plot relevant, you know, or rather not just plot, but mechanic relevant player HQ. And then everything else will just be fleets. So you just, and I'd say start with the Asgard because there's only two ways of getting the Asgard. It's either you pirate it, or you build it yourself. I mean, I suppose I could try and do the pirate thing, but the reality, if you're not producing your own ships, the only way to really get an Asgard without screwing it up, or is probably just, or without losing a lot, is probably the flyby cheese, and I don't want to do that. And I'll think about it. To me, if you're not able to, because I mean, you're also missing out on, you know, it's not just that you can't build your own fleet if you take that kind of challenge, is you're missing out on massive passive income. You could do, like, still do mining fleets and trader fleets, but they're not going to make nearly as much money as a station. So starting with the Asgard may sound that big, but it's really not. Because that's going to be the only, well, I don't know. Can more than one Asgard be built? I don't know. Either way, that's kind of your HQ flagship. Unless I can find a mod for a different capital that's really decent. All right. How much money did that last group make or bring in? Are you still building? Looks like you're still building. Ooh, I don't like all that red. I mean, it's not like it's a huge amount. Because everything displayed was only minus 2 million, but a single katana will get us 2 million. So, trade sales. Where's the ship construction? Are you still building those ships? Ow, stop it, you little shit. What happened to all those ships that it was? Let's see, trade, purchase. Sold ship. 21 minutes ago. Did they stop their orders or something? What the hell? What was here? Yeah, no. Okay, they're still there apparently. And they're all stuck. I wonder if these are ships that are trying to build through the Ares. I think those are the only non-Terran ships that I have right now. I wonder if those are a bunch of Ares that, like Hopper or Paranid are trying to buy. So hopefully, if that's the case, of course, I'm still not going to have enough because go quickly. You're my fastest guy. Okay, that'll be about 8 minutes to get that. But that'll run out fast. I think that'll make me that'll be like 3 ships or something. 4 ships. Quit your screaming, please. I don't know how bad the turret consumption is, though. I know that's like 75 per. This will get 2 ships, probably. But whole parts are fairly easy. I don't know what the advanced electronics will. Now, someone was saying something about... Gosh, I don't remember what it was specifically. It was about how the equipment is handled for NPCs when they build ships. It's handled in a different way, and I forgot what it was. And these guys are slow at getting that all set up. The other thing I gotta find out is when you assign a ship to all these guys, and luckily I haven't had one die on me yet, but I have to wonder if they take the ship with them when they die. Hmm. I suppose since I got, oh yeah, I think I did that off as I bought the katana blueprint. So I guess I could do this. It's low prestige, but it's still pretty good prestige. Travel engines. Although I should get some other. Maybe I should leave the parent and travel engines. How much does that cost? Although it may just be easier just to build it and refit it somewhere else. Where's my little cheat sheet? So basically the value of the ship assigned to your agent will help them. And the values are the prestige, which, unless you're giving them a special ship, it's pretty much always low. But this is one of the higher end of the low ones. The other thing is the speed, which caps out at, you get like 50%, I don't know, bonus at like 1,000 travel speed at 10,000. And then I have this somewhere. Oh no, I did it this stupid way, didn't I? Doot 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 doot. Is the wrong documents. Sheets, there we go. Here we go. So let's see. The DPS bonus capped out at 25%, which I need 15,000 DPS, which you need a big ship for that. And then the speed caps out, so it's better to get something with prestige and speed. And there's, and the katana, or the katana is the best kind of bulk production. You get 20 prestige. Like the highest is the experimental shuttle with 60 prestige. The lowest to have prestige is 10. Katana's right in the middle, but it can also hit the speed cap pretty easily, and then it can get pretty good DPS too. Mission items, recruitment, interference. Let's see, event bonus supplies. So, duration reduction. So I wonder if it does anything besides duration. I hope it does, like logically thinking. The speed and prestige, or the speed should be duration reduction. The prestige should be matched against like a success chance, and the DPS should be matched against likelihood of getting killed or injured. In my mind, that's what it should do. In my gamer mind, you know. But who knows? Am I going to build it? Plasma cannon. Where's the DPS? There it is. Burst weapon output. Excuse me. Wait, let me look at that again. So was that DPS or was that burst? It was just raw raw DPS, I guess. Which is, so I guess it's the sustained. So yeah, the plasma cannon is actually better for sustained. And granted, I could probably get that does not match what he's saying on this. Terran high loadout, but guns reduced to Mark 1. You know what? Screw it. I'll deal with it later. As much as I like the outcomes of the diplomacy thing, I find fiddling with it not exactly something I want to do. You know, here's my major criticism of it, and it's kind of like it's as a whole package. First off, when you get them, you have to go to the station, you have to go find them, and you got to recruit them. That by itself isn't a problem, but then every 30 minutes or every whatever, you got to do clicky, 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 right? That's kind of annoying. And you got to keep doing that to level them up so they can actually do these other things. And then on top of that, for some of these, you got to go and you got to craft items. These ones aren't, most of them aren't required. Well, this one's required, like required for these ones. I guess these ones are a little bit more understandable because you can steal something, but the stealing chance can sometimes be very low, kind of thing, right? So you got to go around. And then if they, you assign them a ship, and then if you want them to do the best, you got to go build the best kind of ship for it. And then if they die, you're going to have to do it all over again. And from what I see, or at least what's being reported, no chance of dying here, which is fine, but medium is you got like a 10% chance of dying. And then like what do you call it? It spikes up to like very high. Like high is like there's a 50% chance of dying or something. Or I guess maybe it was very high, and then, but ultimately the point is, it's a lot of little micromanaging in a very, I'm not sure I can find the right words. It's not the same as when you got to kind of micromanage your shipyards and your station stuff. This is more of planning. I'm looking at this, it's going down planning. When I'm dealing with diplomacy, it's like I'm just micromanaging. I'm clicking here, and it's not really much of a choice oftentimes, right? So far, this doesn't matter. To cultivate influence, I click at, I select any station and I get influence. It doesn't seem to matter. Maybe it doesn't say that, but even then, I don't know. It doesn't seem. So that's my biggest gripe about diplomacy. I'm pushed away from it because I don't want to have to constantly come in here. Like, these guys have been sitting idle for a while. Why? Because I just can't be bothered to come in here and click, 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 click. Yeah, not by itself, it doesn't seem like it's a lot of clicks, but once you do it a bunch of times, it's just kind of, I don't want to really do it again. So I think maybe either they have a repeat order for some of the most basic stuff. Obviously not for the, well, maybe even for the bigger stuff. You know, it'll still cost you the same. If I want him to keep trying this until he dies or till he succeeds, repeat order, something like this, and this should be kind of like the protocol null. So you set them and you say, go ahead, and they'll repeat. Not necessarily the same one, but maybe they'll, if it matters, which it seems like it should if you have to select the target, right? It seems like it should. So maybe they should just randomize the targets and you can hit a repeat button and they'll just go around cultivating influence for you. It costs each time and there's a small risk, but that would do a lot to alleviate the kind of click, 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 you know, select, click, select, click. If they don't, the only thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to do what I'm doing now is I rushed, well, not rush, but once I found this, I got that going and I'm just let it going. And I'm not going to really deal with anything else. On occasion, I'll come in here when I'm bored and be like, oh, okay, well, I'm not really doing anything. So let's get him to cultivate influence. And see, now I don't know. Like, does it matter? Part of me thinks if I have to select something, it does matter. Does it matter because does the race matter? Right? Is it easier for him as a paranid to infiltrate or influence these? Will he have a higher success rate here, or will he, and have a lower one here? I don't know. Actually, did I choose the paranid guy? No, I think I did the influence one. So let's there we go. Yeah. So there we go. So now he's doing influence. And then this guy who's kind of my espionage guy, I guess he'll, you know, I'll go have him go after the Zyarth. Infiltrate the Xenon. There we go. No gifts. Supposedly that's a 10% chance to get killed, but I have to think that the experience level negates that in some way, because I've done a lot of medium ones that, I mean, I could still just be getting lucky rolls, but it wouldn't make sense to have, you know, a skill level and have this stay at 10% or the very high and highs stay at 30 and 50%. Because at that point, it's absolutely not worth it to try and level someone up to a high level of experience just to have a 50-50 roll of them making it back. So, so I guess the first part is the clicky, and the second part would be as per X4 tradition, I guess, is the low amount of info that you get. So what do I want him to do? You know, I'll have him improve relations with. I'm gonna go hop again. Because I kind of want to see. I probably can't. I should build a station down there to trade with them, so I can get their default skins, the golden skins for my ships. You know, that's the other thing I dislike. They got a lot of them, a lot of skins, and yet Those are the only ones we got. And the downside of the allied skins is a lot of them look very similar to these ones. Like they're not. Oh, I thought that was at my freaking hallway. But they're not incredibly different. Like the gold ones that I want from the pirate, they're not that much different than that. They're just, it looks more actual gold. I think the most unique one that we can get is like the Duke's Buccaneers, because I do have. Don't scream, please. Can I look at these? Yeah, I think I have one. I like Thunderstruck. I know one of my ships has the Duke's Buccaneers. Right there, Band of Buccaneers in front of my freaking face. That's the only one that really seems to be kind of unique. Like if I get if I turn them into the Tempests, which is legitimate their faction, which I'm trying to do, I can ally with them and eventually get that as a default skin, which that would be cool. Will you stop? The only other one that I really like is the Court of Curbs, which I might not be allying with anyways, and that's just kind of it's a pure dark gray. I wish they would add more. Like, I wish you'd be able to do a project to turn any one of those skins into the default skin. And it also doesn't help that all those, well, I mean, I guess you can get them from missions here and there, but I haven't seen many. But most of them you'd get from ventures, and they shut down the ventures. So mission offers. Let's see, is there anything good to do? What time is it? Oh no, we still got an hour till lunch, little bird. Now the question is, do I want to I think it will, since I'm coming up on an hour. Stop and restart. I think maybe I'll go do this one. I don't think I get anything decent from that. Just go you. Kind of got to figure out what some of these will do. That one's going to take a while. I gotta check that one out. I don't remember. Oh yeah, that gives you like the geometric. Oh, but I think you got to get another ship and destroy it or something, don't you? That's just a reward thing, and I don't want to deal with that because I hate lockboxes. Deploy event set. Maybe no, I don't want to do this one either because I do eventually want to. This has three options. I can send the Terrans to war with. Was it both Antigon and Argon, or was it just one of them? Either way, you can send the Terrans to war. You can do nothing and everything stays the same, or you can sabotage trade between Antigon and Argon. And right now, I don't want to do that because Antigone here, Antigon. I'll always call them Antigon. Where are they? There you go, they're over here. But right now they're kind of they're on a full-on war with Hop, and now because of that thing that I had, they're getting hit with Zaya, and they're still having to deal with the Xenon. Although the Terrans, this isn't Terrans. The other one I think is Terrans, but the Terrans are doing a pretty good job of helping them keep the Xenon back. But I don't want to crush Antigon that bad. In fact, I want most of these guys to kind of, at least at this point, be in a light war with each other, enough chaos that no one has a clear upper hand. I mean, obviously that's best anyways, because I get to sell more, but not just sell more, is my production is mostly Terran heavy, so I can't really sell that much to them in profit right now. So I guess in a way, sending them against each other there, but my end goal is human supremacy. So I don't necessarily want Antigon and Argon to be... I want them to be minor factions, and the Terrans will be the major faction, and then we'll wipe out everyone else. Except maybe the Boron. The Boron we keep in fish tanks, as I said. And they considering the Boron, they probably like it. They probably think it's a grand thing that we've done for them. Oh, you've built me an aquarium here at your dock. How very nice of you to do. Yeah, the Boron seemed like the type of creatures that you would keep as a pet, and they wouldn't realize that what you're doing. They think they would just be treated really well. Oh, welcome home. It's good to see you. You're giving me delicious food. Wow. I don't even have to do anything. Yeah, okay, well, I guess that's it for now. I think instead of just restarting, I guess I'll stop, and I'll probably start up again when I, probably after lunch, maybe. When I know more of something I'm going to do, because most of this has been, I mean, all of this has been just looking at the maps and doing kind of managerial stuff and complaining. So I'll start up again once I do some more flying and doing actually interesting things to catch on video. So until then.